Hello and welcome to School Spirit. I'm so glad that you took some time on purpose, deliberately, intentionally to do something that's about inspiring and uplifting you and help you think about your wellness. I'm Chanelle Walker. I'm known as the Teacher Wellness Guru, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, I want to talk to you about running it up. Okay. I want you to run it up. I want you to stack it up. I want you to look at your account and say, "Ooh, look at that." Now, you may be thinking like, "Yeah, I would love to do that with my money, stack it up." I have some accounts. I have my STRS, I have my 401 403B or whatever accounts you are thinking about for retirement. Yeah, I'm going to run it up. But that's not the account I'm talking about. I'm talking about your wellness account. I want us to start thinking about our wellness like bank accounts. So we value money. We know what we do with money. We see bills getting paid and we see the trips that we can take or going to Alta and get a little something or stopping by and getting our favorite cup of coffee. We can see it. But sometimes we don't think about running up that wellness account. So I hope to help you reframe your thinking when you're thinking about your wellness. How can I run up that account? What are some things that I can do deliberately, intentionally, so that I can run up my wellness? So, the first thing I want you to think about is diversifying. Because for some of us, the only wellness we get is that cup of coffee in the morning. Like, I got my coffee, I got my vibes. Okay, that's it. So, that's fine. Nothing wrong with a cup of coffee. But how can we diversify our wellness so that we can run it up? You know? So when we're thinking about our wellness, of course, it's not just eating right and exercise. We're talking about emotional wellness. Who makes you happy? How can you be around those people? What brings you joy? Do you have a hobby that you like to do? Can you take 10 minutes out of the day to do that? Can you plan for it? Again, one of the biggest things that we have to realize with our wellness is that it's deliberate, it's intentional. Just like when we're saving money, it's deliberate, it's intentional. You are saying, you know what, I'm going to put away 3% of my paycheck, or I'm going to, every month put away so many $100 if I can, or I set a goal. It's the same with your wellness. So let's run it up, you know? When we're thinking about that emotional wellness, the social wellness, who is someone you need to reconnect with? What is a relationship that you can build? You know, who's a coworker that just makes you just happy inside, that you can connect with, again, deliberately, intentionally. Sometimes you may not be able to sit with lunch with them every day, but maybe you can plan out, we're going to meet up for lunch, even if it's just, 15 minutes in each other's classroom, one of each other's classroom, just to connect, just to see each other, just to laugh. I know those were the things that really helped me. And those are the things that continue to help me on purpose, deliberately intentional social wellness, emotional wellness, intellectual wellness. Maybe there's something new you want to learn about because you're kind of getting bored of, PD and everything else that you have to learn, but you want to learn something that you want to learn. You know what? I want to learn pickleball. This pickleball craze is everywhere. Maybe that's something you can learn. It's so many things that are just new. Maybe you could take some time to say, I want to learn that. These are things I want to do. Again, it's about being deliberate and intentional. Yes, your cup of coffee brings you joy, but we have to be deliberate and intentional about the joy and the social exposure and things that we do for ourselves on purpose because we're trying to run it up. Okay. Another thing I want you to think about is the compound interest of you thinking about starting now. I don't care if you're 23 or 63, that you really start to think about, if I begin a practice, let's say before I go to work, I do a practice. Maybe I write 2 minutes of a journal, just get everything out that's on my mind, positive, negative, whatever it is. At my lunchtime, 2 minutes, listening to a song, 2 minutes of deep breathing. At the end of the day, I take 2 minutes to, you know, find something funny online and laugh on purpose. Those 2 minutes, 3 times a day, 6 minutes, they begin to add up. And it's just like compound interest. It runs up. You may not notice it at first. You may be like, what is this 2 minutes going to do for me? But when you keep adding and adding deliberately, intentionally, on purpose, it adds up, just like you putting, $15, $20 in an account, and then it just adds and adds and adds and adds up. Same with your wellness. When you take the time to practice on purpose, deliberately, intentionally, you're going to get that compounded interest. Another thing I want you to think about as we reframe wellness, because I do understand that sometimes, a lot of times, we don't do wellness practices because it feels like, girl, something else to do, right? So, first of all, the first thing I like to think about is, what can you take off your plate? Now, for educators, you may say nothing, but what have you added to your plate? Who have you said yes to? Um, how can you edit your lifestyle? How can you edit your day? What are some things that you can do? I'm going to challenge you to take a look at your schedule, to take a look at all of your things to do and see what you can edit. Also, where can you ask for help? Because I know if you're anything like I used to be, I'm better now. Oh, the thought of asking somebody for help. I can do it by myself, like a 2-year old. Like, I could do it by myself, right? Where can you ask for help? Not that you're being a burden. Don't even think about it like that. You have people in your life that love and care for you, and people that have strengths in areas that you don't. So, where can you ask for help? I want you to think about that, because you're protecting, loving, and caring for yourself right now, but you're also loving, protecting, and caring for your future self. Just like we save that money and we stack that money up for that trip, that cruise, that something that we need or want in our house or whatever, we are doing it for our future self. Same with your wellness, your mental health. Okay. You don't want to get to finally you're able to retire. You've saved all the money, you've done all the years, and you're not mentally well. The same with your physical body. You don't want to do all that work, all those years, all that saving, and then your body is giving out on you. So, your wellness, again, is a practice for you today and for you in the future. And if you think about it like that, you think about it like your money, you don't want to waste your days, your years, just saying, that's not important. I do understand that it feels like a lot sometimes adding something. But first, think about what you can take away. Also, when you add things that bring you joy, that bring you life, that stack up that wellness for you. It could be simple things like your favorite songs list. It could be simple things like, I'm planning once a month, I'm going out with a friend of mine. On a daily basis, it could be things like deep breathing, journaling, taking 10 minutes before you start to do anything, to do something for yourself. And no, it's not selfish. And you may say, I have kids at home. How am I going to do that? Well, one of the things you do is you train your kids to know that we have our own time for wellness. When I was a single mom of three little children, working on my master's degree, this is something that I had to kind of incorporate into our day, into our after school, after coming home from work, having homework to do with the kids, having my own homework to do. I would say, we are going to have our own time to kind of unwind. And then I would start homework with the kids and dinner and things like that. And it did help. It was only a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but it did help because I wasn't just frazzled coming in after a full day of work and going right into my next role. So I just want to encourage you that your wellness should not be a burden to you. Your wellness should be something that you do deliberately, intentionally, daily, because you want to run it up, you want to stack it up, you want to diversify that thing, okay? Think about when you get to your retirement, when you get to that opportunity, and we're not talking a long ways away, we're talking about just your weekend, you want to be able to enjoy it when you're off of work. You want to be able mentally, physically, emotionally able to enjoy it. So I'm encouraging you to run up that wellness.